Seahawks Packers give us what could be a top 3 finish of all time, while the Colts look lost in New England. Hey, you can't wear those shoes in here. Marshawn Lynch threatened with ejection by the NFL over his gold cleats. Meanwhile, John Fox heads to Chicago while Gary Kubiak changes his stance and ends up in Denver. Where does this leave Adam Gase? Plus headlines from around the NBA, baseball, and the sports world. I'm Radio Hondo, and this is The Flashback. Hello, everyone, and welcome into our Monday edition of The Flashback. I'm Radio Hondo. Thanks for joining us. A lot of exciting news to let you know about, starting right here with The Flashback, of course. You can always email me at radiohondo@gmail.com, and you can also tweet us as well on our Twitter page at Radio Hondo. We also have our new website launching just last week. It's radiohondo.wix.com/Radio Hondo. If I hadn't said enough Radio Hondo in the last 30 seconds, I'm going to say it one more time. It's radiohondo.wix.com. That's WIX/Radio Hondo. That's where you can email me directly while listening to the shows. We have our archive shows also available. You can take a look back and listen to those whenever you're bored. And it's also available on our mobile device as well, so you can take us on the go, listen to it whenever you like. It's radiohondo.wix.com/Radio Hondo. Also have some blogs on there for our daily readers and current headlines going on as well. Find out a little bit about this and a little bit about that. So it's our new website, radiohondo.wix.com/Radio Hondo. Check us out, and we are always available. And, of course, we still have our YouTube page and channel, which will connect as well. Be sure to subscribe to that if you can. So a lot of news out of the weekend and heading into this Martin Luther King Jr. Monday morning. It's been a wild one. 2 great games and also some good news, too. Headlines. We're going to get right into it. First up, Washington Nationals and free agent pitcher Max Scherzer have reportedly inked a 7-year deal worth, get this, $210 million. This is according to Fox's Ken Rosenthal. Scherzer will receive $15 million per season under a 14-year deferral plan. Now, with that signing of Scherzer, the lineup and the starting rotation for Washington Nationals looking pretty good. Not sure if all of them are going to be in place as we get closer to the start of the season, but right now, when you're looking at Scherzer, you look at Jordan Zimmerman, Doug Fister, Steven Strasburg, and Gio Gonzalez. This lineup is looking pretty solid as far as arms are concerned. So a big, huge pickup for the Washington Nationals, dropping the coin and just going out to get Max Scherzer. We'll see if that 7-year deal, $210 million, is worth it in the end. I can't see it being valued that much right now as it stands, but he may have some pretty solid years still yet ahead of him. Had a good year for the last 2 seasons, has been coming on real strong. In the NFL, going to our next headline, the NFL is reportedly looking into the possibility that I don't even know how to approach this, to be honest with you, and I don't think a lot of people do either. But New England, with their big win over the Colts this weekend, they are still in hot water as usual with the NFL, and have now are reportedly being looked into the possibility that New England deflated footballs during Sunday's win over the Colts. Yeah, they league spokesman Michael Signora confirmed that the league is indeed looking into the issue. Now, according to Bob Krevitz of WTHR.com via a tweet, he said that, I'm told at one point the officials took a ball out of play and weighed it. Now, when Tom Brady was asked about this, he just simply said, ridiculous. Then later adding, I think I've heard it all at this point. Deflating balls, have we really gotten down to that point? we already had the Spygate. Is that what we called it when they had the videotapes or what have you with New England? Now we have the deflated balls. When is it going to get back to just this is a talented team who is very strategic, who likes to change jerseys or whatever you want to say, ineligible receivers, eligible receivers, whatever the case may be. They are going to use every tactic that they can in order to win. That's why they win so much. But to say that they're deflating balls, wow. And hey, it may be possible. It may be possible. I don't know. This just seems like a very strange thing to me. However, that is the word. NFL reportedly looking into the possibility of New England Patriots deflating balls during Sunday's win over the Colts. And then what? They pumped them up a couple times when they took back to the field? What's going on here? Or do they mark the balls? Which ones were deflated? Which ones were not? Before, when Tom Brady gets the ball or the center gets the ball, is he pump it a couple times? Oh, this is one of the deflated ones, man. Swap it out real quick. I mean, come on. In the flow of a game, how is it even possible to track them or anything? And they would be at the same disadvantage. Why would anybody do that? Can you prove that it was the Patriots? If some of these balls are deflated, can you prove that it was the Patriots that deflated them? All right. Next up. NFL investigators are hot at work right now, and they have another issue to take a look into. Marshawn Lynch is going to be fined, apparently, for his crotch grab that he made during this week's game. But that was not the beginning of Marshawn Lynch's troubles with the NFL. He has always had some topics to talk about with NFL officials, especially when it comes to actually talking in general. Not a big media guy, and you know what? The guy puts his heart out there on the line. He doesn't do anything wildly offensive or anything. So if he doesn't want to talk to the media or just talks to them to a limited standpoint, I have no problem with that. I'm not really a big fan of the NFL forcing people to talk to media officials and outlets. You know, especially in the locker room. Okay, if you say that during the press conference, you know, players A, B, and C or whatever have to, you know, at least 3 players need to be made available, that's fine. Because you can find 3 players on the team that want to go up there and they want to talk to the media, they want to share their thoughts. But if somebody doesn't want to do that, they shouldn't be subjected have to do that. You know, a quarterback is in a position where he's a leader of the team, obviously. The most information is flowing through him. So, yeah, that's a guy who, you know, if he doesn't talk to the media, then I would have some type of issue with it. But when it's a running back or a wide receiver, these are just, you know, auxiliary players who typically don't need to, they don't, you know, some of them may not want to share information, and some of them just don't feel comfortable with it. So just because you're in the NFL doesn't mean you're subject and should be subject to being the center of media attention. It's not a part of the game that is made for everybody. It's a part of the game that is there, and he's going to have to face the media at some times, but he shouldn't be forced to face media all the time. Kind of ridiculous there. But here's the headline that went further there with Marshawn Lynch. Also under some heat from the NFL for his choice of footwear. Fox's Jay Glazer says the NFL threatened to eject Lynch from Sunday's NFC Championship game if he decided to wear his custom gold cleats. Now, the punishment would also have extended into the Super Bowl. The cleats feature 24-karat gold flake, 24-karat gold flake paint and gold chrome plates. The shoes are reportedly worth around $1,100. We did see the gold plate bottoms on Marshawn Lynch's cleats yesterday during the game. He had changed his shoes on top to, you know, work for whatever league regulations. And again, this is absolutely ridiculous. Absolutely ridiculous. It gets back to the NFL and their overabundance of time to enforce regulations when it comes to clothing, yet they can't enforce anything when it comes to a serious matter. When it comes to a serious matter, as far as how far this ridiculousness of domestic violence issues has come in the league. Where's your foot and your stance when that happens. Because you drag your feet along anytime some issue of serious nature comes across. But when it comes to somebody wearing shoes or not talking to the media, that's when you get worked up at NFL? Give me a break. Keep the game a game and keep the other stuff issues that you need to take care of. Shoes do not determine whether somebody is going to watch the game any more or less. Talking to the media from a guy who is a running back and just doesn't want to say anything to the media doesn't affect how many people will watch the game. Domestic violence issues. That will affect how much people watch the game. Why weren't you able to take care of that for so long? Concussion issues. Those are things that'll sway people away from the game. You're just now finally stepping up in those areas and have done nothing in regards to them for years and years and years. But now all of a sudden, and you've had problems with this in the past, like I said, when it comes to talking to the media and the clothes that coaches can wear on the sideline and the shoes that people can wear or the headsets that people can put on in conferences. Oh, that's not boys. Or that's not a Bose headset. Can't wear those, Kaepernick. Sorry. Pink Beats headphones, that's a $10,000 fine. Grow up, NFL. Grow up. Focus on real problems. Marshawn Lynch, wear whatever shoes you want, man. And I'm not a big guy who's huge on all this flash and this and that, and people pulling out Sharpies to sign autographs after touchdowns and things. I'm not into that. The guy's just wearing shoes. He's not hurting anybody. He's not flashing them around. He's not shoving them in people's faces. He's not stomping on people with them. Yeah, there's another one. Then you're going to say it's okay for Ndamukong Suh, as soon as he finishes his 30-game whatever review, where he's on probation or what have you, playing under probation. As soon as that expires, he goes and he stomps on Aaron Rodgers. You give him a suspension, and then you pull it back. There's some real problems going on there. Time to reevaluate how we're assessing these issues. So anyway, Marshawn Lynch was threatened to be pulled, ejected from the game. And I'd like to see where it says in the line when a violation of apparel is met, when that happens, that you should be suspended for the game you're in and the next game. Where does it say in the NFL rules? I would like to see that. I'm not going to take a look through it. If somebody can bring that to my attention, then maybe I'll have an argument with it. And how long has it been in the system? And it shouldn't even be there if it is. But I have a funny feeling it's not. This was just a big, empty threat by the NFL over a ridiculous matter. Marshawn Lynch, gold cleats. Can't wear them. Sorry, man. Waste of $1,100. Now you're going to have to wear cleats on the basketball court or something on the weekend. That's going to look ridiculous. You're ruining his life. Well, okay, maybe that's a little too far. All right. We do have some more headlines to get into later in the show, but right now let's dive into some of those huge games, the two games that took place this Sunday. That, of course, starting with Seattle versus Green Bay. These were some amazing games going into them. I was really excited, especially to watch this Seattle-Green Bay game. I thought the Colts and Colts and New England game was actually going to be a closer contest than this Green Bay and Seattle Seahawks game. But wow. The switch flipped on me. I will be honest with you on that. We still got our picks right, of course, straight up. But the way these games turned out flipped 180 degrees in either direction. Now, the two teams played some memorable games over the last few seasons, that being Green Bay and Seattle. This game, no exception. In fact, it turned out to be what I think might be one of the greatest finishes, at least in a playoff game ever, And when you put it on a playoff stage, that means one of the best NFL games ever. You could probably throw in the Immaculate Reception in there. You can throw in Frank Reich, his comeback win over the Oilers with the Buffalo Bills years and years ago. And then, maybe throw in the Music City Miracle. But that came really down to one play. So I don't know if I would throw that in there, but definitely Immaculate Reception, the comeback for the Bills over the Oilers. And then I think you have to throw this one in there too as your top three for the playoff finishes. Seattle 28-22 winners over Green Bay. The Hawks were down 19-7 with about 4 minutes to go, and they had just thrown an interception. Wow. At that point, when they threw that pick to Burnett, I thought the game was over. I honestly thought the game was over. I actually texted a friend who is a longtime Packer fan. I was going to give him a call to talk Blazers over the weekend, and I just sent him a text once that interception happened. I said, "Well, hey man, since I'm going to call you about the Blazers, I want to get your take on the Packers too. See how you feel about this game." So, nice game. And what else did I say? I just said, want to get your Packers take. So let's wait until the Indianapolis and New England game's a little bit more decided, and then we can we'll do the interview then. Well, we all know what happened. Hawks down 19-7 at that point, 4 minutes to go, just threw the interception. They come back, they get the ball back, they score with 2:09 left, make it 19-14. Onside kick is successful. They score with 44 seconds to go. 2-point conversion is good. OT victory. Wow. You have a win right in front of you, and then in less than 5 minutes, in a blink of an eye, it is gone. That's how quickly it can happen. But how did it happen that quickly? Well, first off, let's get a look into what happened in the game and what didn't happen in the game. I want to break down the Hawks first because I think they made a lot of mistakes early on, which put them in that predicament. First off, they threw the ball too much in the first half. They had 12 passing attempts or passing plays in the first half to just 7 runs by Marshawn Lynch. Lynch was averaging 4.4 yards per carry. He had 7 attempts for 31 yards in the first half. 4.5 yards per carry gets you first downs. Against the 23rd ranked rush defense in the league, Green Bay, why are you not running the ball more? Why is it that on your first drive you decide to run the ball on first down, throw the ball on second down, and then put yourself in a situation where it's a 3rd and long on 3rd down? Just run the ball twice, you give yourself a 3rd and short, if nothing else, and a manageable situation where the defense doesn't know whether you're going to run again or throw the ball. That's why it's important to continue to run the ball. You have to have the threat there. The threat is not there when you're backed up in your own around your own 23-yard line and it's 3rd and 7. We know you're not running the ball. So run the ball on 1st and 2nd. Then what happened on that 3rd down? They throw an interception. 1 of 4 for Wilson. Second interception comes on a 1st down play in the second quarter. 3rd interception, same scenario as the first. They decided, I think it was pass on the first play, then they ran on 2nd down, then they set themselves up with a nice long 3rd and 8. So they shouldn't even been in that position again. And then in the 4th, another interception on a 1st down play. Going into this game, I said that Russell Wilson should not throw more than 25 times in this game. If they throw more than 25 times in this game, then they came out with a completely wrong strategy, one that does not make any sense. And that is to pass. That is to go into the teeth of the defense. Their 10th ranked pass defense in the league. When they have a putrid, porous running defense sitting right there to be eaten up by a guy like Marshawn Lynch. So 4 interceptions. Wilson threw 29 passes. He shouldn't have even been passing, or that shouldn't even been a throwing down on any of those picks. Couldn't believe it. Couldn't believe it. So I wasn't surprised that they were down. But what did they do in the second half? The second half and overtime, they ran the ball. Marshawn Lynch, 19 carries, 126 yards in the second half and overtime. He averaged 6.6 per carry on the ground. Wow. And he gets a touchdown. It's amazing what you do when you just do what works against porous defenses. Just run the ball, man. Just run the ball. And they ran the ball, and then that opened up a couple positions where they could get the ball downfield. Finally able to throw the ball down to Javon Curse, or not Javon Curse, to Curse though. Finally able to get the ball downfield to Lynch on a reception as well. That was huge and instrumental. So continue to just run the ball. And then when they run the ball with Lynch and they're effective, then they're able to run the ball with Wilson as well. And you saw it on the touchdown. Sometimes it's a simple game. And I'm not an expert. I'm not going to try to claim that I'm an expert. I just see what I see. And I talk about it. And that's what I saw. Looking at the prior games, that's what I thought we would see, just a lot of running. They didn't decide to do that to open up, and they found themselves in a huge hole. But they got lucky, and they came back. Key situations finally got to their game when they needed to in the third and fourth quarters to get them into overtime and then also to win the game. Meanwhile, for the Packers, Lacy, his first attempts, first 10 rushes, 54 yards, 5.4 per carry. Again, Seattle kind of half ignoring that run game and not having success, just stopping it in general. But then, on his 21 carries of the day, his last 11 carries for Lacy, 19 yards. What did I say? Bottle up that run. They can ignore it or whatever, but basically bottle up that run. And then just feast off the throws. Aaron Rodgers, 19 of 34, 178 yards, a touchdown, and 2 interceptions. So he was unable to find really success. It was all about being able to find themselves in comfortable situations with the turnovers that Seattle gave them, provided them with field position through the first 3 quarters. They had field position through the first 3 quarters with those interceptions. What did we say about Carolina? If Carolina was going to have any chance against Seattle last week, what did they need to do? Or not last week, but the week before. Or whenever they played. I guess it was last week, yeah. Would have been last week. Carolina against Seattle. What are they going to need to do? They're going to have to maximize and capitalize on good field position, be able to create a turnover so that they can sustain good field position, and then run the ball effectively. Everything that Green Bay did in the first half. Weren't able to carry it over to the second half, though. And that was the difference. But an amazing finish. They get the onside kick. They score again. They get the 2-point conversion on a miracle play. That 2-point conversion was a miracle play. It had fallen apart. Wilson, the pocket for Wilson had collapsed, and not in the way it was designed to collapse in that play. And he throws back across the field, and a prayer was answered. 2-point conversion good, overtime victory after Green Bay comes back, kicks the field goal to tie it up and go into OT. And then they came to the coin toss. And what did they do after the coin toss? They ran the ball again. They ran the ball with Lynch, got it downfield, and then threw the pass into the end zone to solidify the game. What it all boiled down to. It's that run game. It's that run game for Seattle. You have to do it. All right. So that wraps up our take on that. We do have plenty more to come, including headlines, a preview of the New England, or not a preview, but a review of that New England Colts matchup. Plus, we're going to check in with the NBA and college basketball as well. Don't forget to join us on our new website, radiohondo.wix.com. wix.com/Radio Hondo. RadioHondo.wix.com/Radio Hondo. And we have much more to come on segment 2. I'm Radio Hondo, and this is The Flashback.